bang, bang, bang. I was like, damn. And that's what I told my wife. My girl was like, hey, y'all come out here and play.
All right. Who else is here? We got Rita. We got Rita. We got, man, I don't know if I can try that name. Christopher. Can you guys hear me? Everybody hear me? Wow, we got a ton of people here already. I wasn't sure how this was going to work. It's the first time we've done it. Holy smokes. So Nageswara, is that how you say that?
You got it, Chris. Yeah, you can call me Nagesh.
Nagesh. Thank you, Nagesh.
Good morning.
All right. Wow, we don't. So this is going to be different because we've never done this before. For those of you, a lot of folks, some folks are coming in. I know they've been involved with our Monday roundtables and things like that, which is fantastic. I didn't know that we had this many people that were going to be joining. Fantastic. So I'm going to throw it out. We'll get started in a few minutes. Rob's going to join us. He's got a story to tell us. I tell you what, I cannot believe the story. And when you're running things, you get crazy stories. This one is the best success story that we got so far, right, Chris Wagner?
Absolutely.
Chris, so in case you don't know, you probably don't know, Chris is behind the scenes, usually in the back cave. So he can answer some technical questions. There's Rob, he's here. All right, fantastic. So real quick, do us all a favor, put in your information in the chat. Let me make sure everybody can chat with each other, because sometimes that doesn't work. Hold on. It's the first time for this. So let's see, make sure everyone can, everyone can do it directly. So who you are and what your company is. And if you have a little blurb about what you do, great. But I'm here to talk about what's going to happen for tips, tricks, and tactics, right? That's the whole idea, is to talk about tips, tricks, and tactics, whether you're a SAMradar user or not. Now, we want you to be one, so you can do that. And guess what? 7 days for free takes you all the way through the end of the fiscal year, right, Rob? And you're mutified, so we can't understand a word you're saying. Anyhow, but I do want to jump into one of the biggest things that you're seeing for the tip for the day is watching over the weekend and making sure that you're paying attention, because we're seeing things that are 24 and 48 hours. So if it hits after 5 o'clock today, that means it's going to be due anywhere from 5 o'clock on Saturday to 5 o'clock on Sunday or into Monday. We had this happen several years ago, even before I was really involved in this back in 2007. We had a blanket purchase agreement with HHS, and it happened where it came out at 11 a.m. on a Sunday with a 24-hour turnaround, and that's all. And if we weren't paying attention, we would have missed. It was $275,000 too. So that was for a toner and printer supplies for HHS. So you never know what you're going to get. You never know what you're going to see. But I want to welcome everybody. If you didn't hear what I said, pop your information into the chat. so everybody knows who each other is, and then we'll give you an ability to be able to download and talk with each other if you want to. If you have your contact information, that's great. You can pop that in there too. So I'm going to just ask the question, what's the most important thing that's happening to you? Why did you show up today? And what's the most important thing for you to see? Because I want to make sure we hit that. And I guess you can start.
Yes, sir, I can start.
Yep. What's most important to you?
To get the contract in next 5 days.
That's the idea, right? Making sure you don't miss anything, right?
That's correct.
Fantastic. And in case you didn't notice, I'm a Ravens fan. And if you're from Miami or from last week, I'm not talking to you. And if you're from Pittsburgh, I'm kicking you off. I'm just kidding. All right. So Christopher Nuss, what brought you here today?
Well, our company's been in business for a while. We've kind of taken little steps, and now we're to a point where we want to start bidding on some more government action, some bigger things. So
and do you have federal work now?
Not right at the moment. No, we have state work, but have not gone to the federal side yet. And that's what I'm wanting to get to eventually.
Fantastic. You're in the right place for this, and we'll talk about that. How about you? I don't know how to say it's Strapia BH-BH. Is that you? I don't. Let me see if I can unmute you or ask to unmute you. Wow, there's a lot of people here. I did not expect this. Okay, fantastic. So I just asked you to unmute. If you do, Rita Tormento, you there? David Shaw, good to see you. David, what brings you here? I want to make sure we address whatever you want.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. We've got 2 active phase 2 contracts, one with support from the Air Force, one from the Space Force, with 2 of our 4 capabilities that scale across other service branches, other agencies, and commercial sectors. So we're looking to torque this up. We're enabling technology, so we're dependent upon teaming partnerships, and it's really scaling. How do we best scale, move out of sitters into OTAs and bigger agreements?
Nice, man. Dropping a bunch of acronyms on us this morning.
Yeah. It's awfully early for that, isn't it? So I even understand what 1 or 2 of them mean.
Well, if you good on the grant side for the so you enabling technology. You mentioned SIBRs, right?
Yeah. Well, we've got
Yep. Good job. That's not easy.
Got sitter traction too, actually. So
wow.
We've got some good things going on.
Fantastic. All right. Wow,
Thank
there's
you.
way too many people here to do this individually. So do me a favor, pop it in the chat. Tell me who you are, where you're from, what your company is, and what it is you want to talk about today. And that way we will I'll get to everybody we do. I'm going to get to Rob because I think it's pertinent. And it's one of the best success stories that we've seen so far. So I love it. So Seaboard MFG would like to get better results from GovBiz. Love that. Appreciate that. Ursa, we are WOSB, Small Disadvantaged Business Certified IT, CMMI, very important. Level 5 quals. Structured cabling. Love that, Christopher. I used to be in that world. So give me a flashback PTSDs just by saying those words. There you go. And Mike doesn't have his mic set up. Okay. And Marty is VOSB, digital signage. Lots of things happening in that world as well. LA Power, LLC, love it. So what we're going to be talking about today, since we're only going to keep this to a half an hour, because guess what? We have stuff that we got to turn around some RFPs, not me personally, but everybody here should be finding stuff and turning around RFPs. So the first thing that I'm going to say, hey, Charles Day, nice to see you. Pop in what you want to address here. I'm going to do my best to open up something. Rob, I want you to, so tell us about Sherry. First of all, tell us about you. Rob, you came on board with SAMradar when? When did you come on board?
February.
back in February.
I apologize. There's like the sun coming through the window here. I have like the, I don't know, the shade effect going on.
Yeah, that's special effects, man.
There we
That's
go.
a bonus.
You don't get that everywhere.
That's right. So, and you came on board, you were using the system in beta, right?
I was,
And
absolutely.
what was the first thing that you said when you saw it?
Is this legal?
Is it legal?
Are we allowed to be seeing this information?
And so some of the information, everything that we're going to be talking about today, and I'll take 2 minutes at the end to talk about what we're going to be talking about next week, I think, which is really, Christopher, especially with what you're talking about, and David, what you talked about, looking at the future, 2020, fiscal year 2023. Right now, we're going to talk about just watching for opportunities, because we find that even if you're, I don't like opportunities usually unless I got my fingerprints on them, right? Because right now you still find stuff because everybody is strapped for resources, and there's stuff that's just dropping like all over the place. And there are places where you can win last minute deals. That's what we want to talk about today. Give me 2 minutes at the end and we'll talk about what we can talk about, what's going to happen next after October 1st. All right. So we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But today, literally pay attention to everything that's happening. And what I'm going to show you what's popping on SAMradar right now. There's two different sides of SAMradar. One is SAM.bid. I'm trying to confuse everybody at the same time with all the SAM language. So there's some more acronyms for you. But anyway, SAM.bid monitors the opportunities. SAMradar is a conglomeration of opportunities plus the award monitoring. Nothing else is doing what SAMradar does. So as soon as it hits SAM.gov, it gets sent to you. This is the piece one of the pieces that Rob was just talking about of, should I be able to see this? Because it takes you right into SAM.gov without having to log in. How many love SAM.gov? You must be new if you love SAM.gov, because anybody that's been in this business for a while, if I say SAM.gov, usually it's a good thing we don't have loaded firearms around, because we have road rage without even getting on the road. So I'm going to be talking about, can everybody see my screen? I don't have the ability to check to see if it's going. Is it going, Rob?
It's up, Dave.
All right.
It's good.
So what is happening right now is every time something hits within one of your monitoring is really, really important. We have a couple of folks that were asking the question of, how do I narrow my focus? Fantastic idea. Difficult to do in the last 7 days. Probably going to just have to suck it up a little bit, and then it's going to dry up October 1st, because they're going to stop spending the money, because the money's going to be all gone for fiscal year 2022. However, what we can do is get specific. I think keywords, paying attention to keywords, probably the most important thing that you could do. Make sure that your keywords are updated. I'll show you how to do it on SAM, as well as I'll show you how to do it in SAMradar, because if some folks here are already SAMradar users, so this is kind of a tutorial even for them. Why? Because this system is new, it's different, it does things differently than anything else. It delivers it to you via email. Why do we do that, Rob?
Because it happens literally right away as it's posted.
As it's posted, and you live in email, you don't live in SAM.gov. None of us want to live in SAM.gov. However, if you want to see this solicitation, you'll see immediately when it's due. So some of these are actually putting out a little bit. Here's one that's due tomorrow in Guam. So if you're doing business in Guam and you want to do business with NAVFAC, that's in the naval facilities, right? And you want to see all the details, you can see most of it right here. So you can probably figure out whether or not you care. The biggest thing to do right now, get to the no's fast so you can get to the yeses so that you can respond. That's the whole reason we are living for today, is to go through these fast as we can and say, I don't care. If you don't care, move to the next one. And this is a pre-solicitation. Might care about that one. How about a justification? We'll talk about, if you want to talk about that, we can. But I want to talk about this one here. This is, actually, which one would we talk about? This is, where was I? Solicitation due when? Where's the one? Let's do this one. So this is a service disabled veteran-owned small business. It is due after the end of the fiscal year. So you have a little bit more time. I was kind of looking for ones that are landing, because these are as they show up. Here's one, 9:30, sources sought. Now think about this one. This is a sources sought for service disabled veteran small business. It's a set aside. It is due 9:30 at 9 p.m. Eastern time. What do you think is going to happen at 9:01 Eastern time on 9:30? Anybody got an idea?
Yeah,
What?
they're gonna see if they have any money left over before midnight, and probably gonna award a contract at 11:20.
To whoever, to somebody
If
that
they
they
have the
find
money
as a
and if
result of this,
somebody
right?
puts in something, that's the right price.
That's right. It's got to be the right. They're not even asking for the price. I don't even know if they're asking for price. Let's take a look. This is for Honolulu, which also, by the way, we'll talk a little bit about Honolulu, because they have some little bit of extra time, don't they? They can award to 11:59 Hawaiian time. So that sucker's coming in the middle of the night for East Coasters. So they're looking for an SDVOSB. It's repair and alteration of hospitals and infirmaries, right? And guess what? Did I have to log in I'm here. I wanted to see all the details. I want to go to SAM.gov. Bam, I click it. It takes me right to the solicitation. These exist. This exists just like this. And yes, it is legal because it's already out there. And here's the person that you want to reach out to and the phone number. Good idea to start collecting these, by the way, because you can use these for marketing, right? So the history, this hits at September 22nd, 11:15. HST. How do you like
Can I say
that?
something?
What's
Can I
that?
say something right now, if anyone out there, if that is your line of work, you should be making friends with a company that's an SDVOSB, so you can go in and team, because so many set-asides now are coming out for SDVOSBs, and you should have somebody to turn to, say, hey man, let's team up on this and go after it. Because you're not an SDVOSB, the only way you will get that is if they get no SDVOSBs responding. And that's a
Exactly,
service
because
disabled
why
veteran-
is that? What happened in 2016?
the Kingdom app.
Kingdomware decision from the Supreme Court. So the Veteran Affairs has to go to veteran owned first, and it goes service disabled, then veteran owned, then they'll start trickling down. And there's 14,000 of them, right?
Right, but there's actually more SDVOSBs than there are VOSBs, but VOSBs anymore really don't have, like you said, if it doesn't go to an SDVOSB, it trickles down VOSB, then it goes to open market.
Yep.
So
And it's not getting to open market.
Go in with an SDVOSB, you have your best chance. It's
Yep.
it's not easy to do, but it's worth doing.
Yeah.
If,
It's worth part of your strategy moving forward. You're probably not going to be able to develop a partnership between now and next Friday. However, that should be part of your strategy for 2023, right, Marty? So
Sorry,
how about
correct.
you, David Shaw? You got your hand up. What you got?
Yeah, so how does that work in practice? If you're not one of those set aside companies in your teaming, who comes in as the prime and who comes in as the sub?
the prime's going to have to be the person who holds that seal. It's a
Mhm.
seal, and so that will be the prime. So in other words, that's why I said about finding a partner. You need to find a partner you can trust, because they're going to be the ones collecting the money.
Right.
Hey, can I
they're
chime in here for a
doing the
second?
contract. You're a
Yeah,
subcontractor.
go ahead, Rob. Robbie,
For
what you got?
those, we may have some newbies on here. SDWOSB is Service Disabled Veteran Owned Small Business.
That's right.
Just for those that don't know.
Thank you
guys.
very much,
Continue.
Rob. So yeah, we're in an acronym overload zone. So if at any time you have a question about that, pop it in the chat and say, people, slow down. All right. So, but the reason, so everybody knows the pressure right now has nothing to do with anything else except the government having to spend all the money by 9/30, which is next Friday. That's the pressure. As far as everything that we're talking about and the intensity that's happening right now, the turnaround times, everything revolves around them spending the money by 9/30. Then all of a sudden, October 1st comes and poof, we're operating under what's called a continuing resolution. You'll hear that CR a lot. You talk to a contracting officer, I don't have any money because I was under CR. That's true. We understand that. We're talking about that in October. Right now, the objective is to find low-hanging opportunities that are coming out as fast as you can possibly imagine. I mean, look at this. Look at how many have hit. Now I'm taking a look at multiple markets, but let's take a look here and see what we have. Offers due 9/29 for engineering services. So here's one of the things about big NAICS codes like 541330. Engineering services encompasses everything from sanitation engineers to environmental engineers to rocket scientist engineers. They're all over the map. So if you're monitoring in this NAICS, you definitely want to use keywords for what it is you do, because otherwise, bam, you're going to get a bazillion of them. And look at this. Here's another thing that you're going to see. PSCs are product service codes. And look at this. Engineering services, probably the broadest NAICS code on the planet. Plus you have support other, that anything that ends with a 99 or a 90 is other. So there's a bucket. This person, let's see who this person is. This person is with the Navy. It's Jamel Kilgore, right? And if we want to take a look at some of the actual details, if there's anything else on SAM.gov, always a good idea to take a look. Even if you have SAMradar, take a look to make sure that you can see everything, because sometimes there's some additional links and attachments that pop up that may not pop up on SAMradar, just because it's collecting the stuff and getting it to you as fast as possible. So go ahead if you're interested. So this is Panama City, right? And what they're looking for is tactical cross-domain solution support. Man, oh man, if you know what that is, this is for you. I don't have any idea what that is, so I'm not going to pay attention to that. But notice that the offers are due by when? 9/29 at 12 p.m. Eastern time. Let's see. That's a set aside for small business. This one's total set aside for small business. Very similar to what you talked about, Marty. It may be SDV OSB. It may be woman-owned. It may be just small business, right?
With
And how
those
about
small
this?
business set asides, you want to make sure that that your size, it's going to do with your
NAICS code
with your NAICS
size.
code and what your size is, and you have to make sure you're registered as a small business in your state and as well as when you get this into them, they have to make sure that your size is a small business, typically under 500 people.
Under this NAICS code,
Right.
right? So your under this NAICS code, you have to be considered small. How do you know that? I just wrote an article about it. It's in, if you go to SAMradar and look at resources, I just wrote an article. It has a link to the small business set aside standards for small, and it's only small business. Well, that's not true, because there's a couple of them there that are economically disadvantaged, woman owned. Leave that alone for now. But this one is due tomorrow at 10 a.m. And here's another one, 541990. Other professionals. Doesn't tell you a blessed thing. It does say it's collectors and of historical items. Conservation of photographs. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. So if you do conservation of photographs, you want to be reaching out and making sure that Jason Albright with nps.gov, and there's his phone number. And do they still use a fax? Oh, you better believe it. So this is the best way. So what you want to do immediately, you want to, when you sign up for SAMradar, it's going to go back and grab everything. And this is important, Rob. Tell the story about, is Sherry here, by the way?
Sherry is here.
Sherry's here. Sherry can tell the story. Sherry.
Sherry
Sherry's the first person that we can bona fide say, because of SAMradar, you got $1 million, right? Right, Sherry?
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning. Sherry Johnson, tell the story.
So, I'm gonna use some acronyms too. I am a DAPA manufacturer within the DLA, and I started this journey from an email, and I've gotten several emails over the I know the course of the last 3 years from you guys, and I just dismissed them.
She dismissed us.
I just dismissed it.
She dismissing us.
I did. I have to admit that. And so this one particular email last week stood out. It was on, I believe it was on Monday, last Monday. So I signed in. It was about, because it was what I was doing, searching SAM for the end of the year opportunities. So I jumped on and absolutely loved it. Just changed everything. I was so excited. I started calling my friends, hey, y'all, you need to, get the service, whatever. But one stuck out to me because with the DLA, my contract, let me just go back and say, I have a multi-year contract with the DLA. And so I have people or a person that I directly am in communication with throughout the DLA. And when they need something, they'll call and say, hey, can you all manufacture this, or can you source this for us? And so I saw a solicitation email. I clicked on it and it said lab coats. And it was for the DLA, which was odd to me because I was never told that. It was just at the end of the year, miscommunication, whatever. And so I immediately called my guy and I said, hey, we can make these for you. I see this. I've already emailed the actual contracting officer. What do you need me to do? He said, fantastic, let's hit it. We need over $1 million of these. And so first of all, I was stunned because my hair covers and shoe covers have never netted $1 million. And I just recently received this contract. I signed my contract May 4th of 2022. It took me a year and a half to actually get a DAPA contract. So it was very tedious. But because of SAMradar, and I don't have the signed contract, and I can't wait till I get that part of it so that I can actually send it over to you guys. But because of me having this access, I would not have otherwise I would have missed it. I'll just tell you now that would have never been brought back around to me. And if it had, it would have been probably January, February, March before they said, hey, we forgot to ask you, can you manufacture disposable lab coats? So I just don't even know how to thank y'all for what you're doing. I woke up this morning and my phone was going off because I had 14 new opportunities coming through with y'all. So I mean, I'm not, they are not paying me to say any of this. I just want y'all to know that, but I just really appreciate them giving me the opportunity because I'll have this forever. And I'll shout it to the rooftops. If you don't have the paid service, get it, because I mean, the $249, you will make that back in one contract. You can pay for it in a year. So that's my story.
Everybody can go to that. I'm done. That was great. Sherry, I tell you what,
Is that an annual price?
no, that's $249 a month, and there's a
Okay.
reason for it. We're
Okay.
gonna show you. We'll show you some other things too. Yeah, we're not doing an annual thing yet, and I'll say this: it's not going to be $249 for long, because what is happening with the other side of SAMradar which is what's going to happen after the first, because they have right now craziness. We got that. Right now we need to respond, right? That's all we can do is take a look and see what we can find and look at the opportunities and respond, right, Sherry? That's all we can do.
Yes, and I want to say this. I also have, I'm waiting on an email. I probably am getting a glove contract this morning. From SAMradar. It was an opportunity that I actually found day before yesterday, and I sent the information in, and they immediately sent me an email back to make sure that my pricing was lock solid. So, I mean, I just can't thank you enough.
Oh man. And you've been around, because you're talking about contracts that took you years to do. I know it took you like forever for you to respond to one of our emails. We will talk about that another time, Sherry.
Okay.
But
Okay.
Everybody else here is in the same boat, because a lot of folks, this is the first time that you've ever experienced a dialogue with what we do. One of the things that I want to say is part of this, Sherry, is every Monday at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. we have what are called business development roundtables. It's kind of like what we're doing right now, except today for the rest of the week we're talking about something very specific.
Right.
But it's almost like group therapy for federal contractors, because sometimes we need group therapy, don't we, Sherry?
Yes, we do. Yes. If you have no idea the tears that I shed trying to get my foot into the DLA. And I will tell y'all this, I am the only African-American woman-owned business within the DLA. So when we started this journey, of course, I've been called an anomaly because there's, there's nobody else that's doing what I'm doing. And I was coming in as a subcontractor under Cardinal and Owens Minor.
All right.
Probably 6 months, I will give it 9 months, halfway into this journey, I got a phone call that they took me from being a sub and they made me a prime vendor in the DLA.
Wow.
So
it does work, right? And this is before you even before you signed up for SAMradar, you were doing the right things the right way to be able to get. You were subbing, and there's a whole nother play coming for subbing. We'll talk about that after the first. But you were subbing, and anomaly, another word for that's a weirdo. I'm there too. A lot of us here are weirdos. And a lot of us are weirdos in different ways. I'm just telling you, the anomalies make the difference. You are a difference maker in DLA. You're a difference maker, and the only thing that you're on a skyrocket ship up. It is going to be so fun for us to see what you're doing, Sherry Johnson. So
I just want to tell everybody, just stay the course. Stay
the course. I
will put my email address in the chat section, because we do need to have a support team. I had nobody. My family thought I was crazy. Why would you even want to go this route? You know how the government is, and
me too, Sherry. All right, I definitely don't like cutting you off, but I got something I want to point out, because this may be the last time that we get to be able to see a lot of folks here. I want to show you what's going to happen on Monday, or the following Monday, like October the 3rd. So the other side of this equation is, we talked about subcontracting. You started there, Sherry. This is the way. If you're new, this is probably going to be the avenue that you're gonna track. And Sherry will talk to you about this. But these are awards. Now you might be saying to me, why are you telling me awards? You're calling me a loser. Yeah, you're a loser, but you didn't know it, and now you do, and now you can do something about it. So I want you to think about this for a minute. This is an award that goes to T.S. Marshall Associates. It was executed 2 days ago. Is everybody seeing my screen? For $312,000. Notice this. One offer received. Oh my goodness. What about this next one? 2 offers received for $317,000. Here's 2 offers received for $285,000. Here's 1 offer received for $230,000. Why do you think that is? It's because these people, this happens to be Tarola Crawford from the FAA. If you want to do business with the FAA, Taloria, I can't even say the name, Taloria. Phone number, email address. First thing you want to do, if you're competing with Management Concepts Incorporated, is click this button. It pops up and says, I want to talk about the award management concept, the award management concepts that you made, Taloria, a couple of days ago. Very simple. This system is to drive your behavior in federal business development so that in 120 days, you are tracking 100 people that are swimming in your pool and you have a reason to talk with them. Nobody else is doing this. I started doing this back in 2008, and in 2009, I launched ISI Federal. And this is the culmination of 15 years of business development plus sales experience piled into a system that wants to drive your behavior. You have one simple thing. And most of us, Sherry, you're small shop, right? You're small shop, right? So a lot of folks here are small shop, and we all only have 24 hours in a day, and we don't want to spend all of our time doing this government stuff. This is a behavior driver. Let the system get smarter. And as you use it and you say, hey, guess what? This Taloria is good for me. Click this and say, I want more people like Taloria, and the system is going to be looking for more people like Taloria, and it's going to take in, there's algorithms that are running on the back end. Everything that's going to happen is to your benefit. It takes, like you say, it takes a little time for things to learn. It's like training somebody to do what you do in your business. This is a system every day, less than $10 a day. This will deliver you also the ability to talk to the prime and reaching out to prime contacts, as well as tracking this prime. Because if this prime's eating your lunch, don't you want to know all the people that are buying from that prime contractor? Yes, you do. This is for the future. Right now, couple real quick tips that I want to show you, and it goes right here. Pay attention to everything that's landing. Look for the solicitations, especially the ones that are due before the end of the fiscal year, and make sure you're responding. Because guess what? These people, every one of these people have to spend all the money by the end of the fiscal year, which is just 7 days away. SAMradar.com, you get it free for 7 days. Just sign up and use it for the 7 days at least. I'm telling you, you don't want to lose it, because the pricing is going to change. I'm telling you, pricing is going to change, right, Rob?
Yes, it is.
We're not in desperation mode anymore.
Be happy you signed up now when this thing's polished. Not that it's not. It's an ongoing thing. It's only going to get better. And
it's only going to get better. You're going to learn as you go. We're going to learn as you go, and we're in this together. The first 250 that are in this together, and we're just past 100, right, Rob?
Yes, we are.
So, and we launched 7 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago. We had a couple of beta users. I'll say that. I've been holding the reins back on this. Now's the time. So it's free for the next 7 days.
Hey, Dave.
Yes, sir.
If I interrupt you for a quick second, is it a monthly subscription?
It is a monthly subscription. You can cancel anytime.
Okay.
You're not going to want to. All right, guys, I know we got stuff to do. We're already 4 minutes over. Please go out there, sign up for SAMradar. You will get you need to get with the onboarding folks so that you have your stuff tuned. Because otherwise, what happens, Sherry? You get a crap ton of emails, don't you? You're going to get a lot. And especially this time of year, it's not going to be like this forever. And you're going to shift October 1st. You're going to shift your mindset to business development and laying those seeds so that contracting officer is calling you, right, Sherry?
Right. That's exactly
and telling
right.
you that something's out on the street. That's the
Exactly
objective.
right.
Hey, Dave,
Yes, sir.
enough time for one more question?
One more question. Go ahead.
All right, you said to some people, you said before, and this is one of the reasons I didn't write it out there, but this is one of the reasons I tuned in, and maybe you have some concepts on this. You say Sam's a dirty word to some people, and of course that's right. Well, there's something else in Sam that's a second dirty word, and that's when you find an opportunity. Okay, you find an opportunity, and then you see that really dirty word down there, unison or fed bid or
Ooh,
anything like
God
that.
bless me.
Okay.
Oh, dude.
Right. So what maybe you could, and look, I've won a few of them. All right. So
Mhm.
they're not impossible to win. But one of the things that I'm wondering if we get, if there's any edge working through you, do you, I'm not going to ask you to give away your trade secrets, but you have anything to say on that?
Absolutely. I
Okay,
got
go
I
for
got a
it, man.
bunch to say about that. It's just like lowest price technically acceptable, right? Another bad word, LPTA.
Right. And which
right?
nobody adheres to, by the way.
God bless me. And there's a good reason for it because lowest price doesn't mean cheapest, right?
Right.
Right.
No,
So-
technically acceptable doesn't mean cheap.
Oh, and it's awful. I mean, and I just told the story yesterday. I lost a $6.2 million gig because I was stupid. That's the main reason I lost.
Well, I've
it.
been stupid twice this week.
All right. So let's
Jeez.
and I think John Wayne said you can't fix stupid, but at least you can try, right? So, but two words that you said, unison and fed bid, both of those are the drive to the bottom. That's what they are. It's hey, you're actually driving the price to the bottom. There's two things that I would recommend. It goes along with what's required. And if there's a justification and approval, a J&A, right, that's associated, says it's an OEM product, J&A is associated with it, I'd walk right away from it because only one person is going to be able to compete for that, and for real, because they're going to they already have the relationship, the best possible price from the manufacturer. And so I would walk away. What I would say is Fed bid is a pain for a lot of people. However, it is becoming more of a mandatory thing. It's kind of they're kind of driving it, just like they did with LPTA way back 10 years ago, right? They were driving that you must use LPTA first, right? Well, everybody knows that the lowest price doesn't mean it's the best value. Almost always. None of us are driving Yugos, right? None of us. And that was the cheapest car in the 90s, right? It was the cheapest car ever. Right? Unless it was a Volkswagen Bug, right? But besides that, so at the time, so what I'm saying is relationships trump everything all the time. So if you have a relationship, like Sherry has a relationship with the contracting officer as well as the program person, she is going to get preferential treatment. Why? Because that's how real human beings operate. And we're talking about business with human beings. So developing that relationship, saying, when, talk 2023, not now. You're not building relationships now. You're just running around like crazy, man, with your head on fire, right? But what we're talking about is in the future being able to redirect that either as a sole source award or competitive between two valid, qualified companies. Happens all the time. You can do it with woman-owned, hub-zone, even small businesses, GSA contract holders. You can do this with a relationship with the individual. If you see it pop out on Fed bid, I have no interest in that. You might be able to work out a deal if there's not a J&A associated with it and they call out HP toner cartridges and there's no J&A that says you have to use HP OEM, then you can submit a separate one. That's a different play. That's a price play. You can go get special pricing from a competitor that's not HP. And then you can win. We do that with GSA all the time. We do that all the time in GSA. However, for the rest of the time, find that person. But you got the person, you got the phone number, pick up the phone and call them. Now you might say, well, they're not going to answer my call. You're right. They're definitely not going to answer the call, especially if you don't pick up the phone and call them. Pick up the phone and call them, shoot them an email. I want to talk to you about this particular award, this particular project or award. I'd wait till it's awarded. I wait till it hits SAMradar after it's awarded. Monitor that opportunity. Boom. then you're talking to the right person. Do this on a regular basis. That's how you win. That's what I've done for a decade and a half. Anybody want to throw in on that? And
Well, you have to, the term is equal or greater. So what you were saying before, so if you have a lower price brand, but if you're talking, and remember on Unison, that's the bad thing about it. You're not going to get to talk to the contracting officer because they completely shield that off.
Yep.
So you need to, you go to that site. You want to know people like Dave, and look, I've got nothing to do with this, so I have nothing to do with it. I don't know.
Are you a user? Are you even on SAMradar yet?
No, I'm gonna
No, not even on. So go ahead.
Here's you're right. I'm not even on, and I don't know the guy. But if you're gonna, a lot of stuff is gonna go to you. If you already know the contracting officer, first of all, they're gonna write it up that only you win it. I've gone into stuff that winds up on SAM and it goes to Unison, but I already know that contracting officer, and they kind of word it that they make it very difficult for anyone. And by the way, sometimes I look at these things and like Dave just said, you already know the fix is in, man. So you don't even want to waste your time.
And that's okay. Because, but what does it tell? Here's the other part. If you know the fix is in and this person is fixing it for that contractor, that is just as important, because guess what it tells you? If you build a relationship with that contracting officer, the fix will be in for you.
Right.
So
that takes
it's
a
not
while.
all bad.
That takes a while. If you're,
it's a long play. You're right. It's a long play.
But listen, it's a long play. But anyone who's in this business, you better be in it for the long game.
You're right.
This is
if you're not in it for the long play, don't start. Don't start. Go to Vegas, put 50 grand on red and let it roll. So anyway, I want to thank you very much. And I appreciate it, man. Thanks for that. I want to welcome Nagesh, already signed up. So welcome aboard, Nagesh. I saw somebody popped in the back end over here and said, hey, Nagesh.
Hey, how are you?
There you go. Now, you are officially the latest as of right now. So welcome aboard. You will be talking with my son, who's Zachary, who's in the other room over there. And he's going to get you on board to get you tuned up as best you can. Don't let the next 7 days make you lose your mind. Go get at it. And I want to hear a success story out of you too, Nagesh.
Yeah,
okay?
just to get, maybe if I can take 20 seconds.
20 seconds, go hit me.
Yeah, we are a federal government contractor providing IT support services. We have 10+ prime contracts with total value close to 70 million. So
Woo, that's no joke.
Yeah, we still want to grow. So let's see how your platform could help us.
I love it, man. I'm telling you, wait, because this is a two-way street now. We're on this together. So as it's working, give it time to be able to give it time, right? Because it's gonna take a little bit to tune it up. But once it gets running, we want to know what else you want to see from it. We want to know what else would be beneficial to you. And most importantly, come to the Monday roundtables. And those are the coolest things. I love them. And I'm usually there. Rob's usually there. Somebody from ISI Federal team's there. Please join us. It is all part of the process because we all want to win. We all want to win. We all want to get better. So, Nagesh, welcome aboard, man. You're my latest best friend. All right, guys, we'll get out of here. Go win some. Go kill something.
Hey, can I chime in real quick?
Yep.
We will be holding similar sessions, 8:30 a.m., 11:30 a.m., 2:30 this afternoon, all next week. So any questions, comments, concerns, and success stories, check back with us. These are all recurring links, just so you know. So
yep, you can join us all the way through the end of the fiscal year. But I really appreciate you guys joining us today. Great to see everybody, and we'll look forward to helping you guys out as well, just like we did. Sherry, you're awesome. All right, guys. See you guys.